Hey everyone, welcome back. I hope you're all having a wonderful spring. I am enjoying spring so immensely here in Pittsburgh. It is my new favorite season. Never thought I would say that, but it is just so beautiful here. Today I'm going to be doing basically a product crit. I think I have a playlist of past crits that I've done, and I definitely have past podcast crits. Products I'm not going to finish and why, essentially. I have a huge box of empties that I'm trying to figure out how to tackle, probably as a live somewhere. So if you're not following me on Patreon, you can join for free, and I may do a live stream where I just post the link to everybody on Patreon, paid and free members, and do a live stream that way. It just kind of makes more sense to do it live so that I don't have to edit an hour-long video. We'll see how long today's ends up being. Alongside all those empties, I have this bag of not empty products. So let's talk about why they're not empty, why I'm not going to finish them. I feel like it's helpful to get things out so that I'm not rifling through a bag. Let's do that. Let's start with some skincare first. This is maybe controversial, but I have some Earthwise products here that I'm just not gonna finish. A Marshmallow face cleanser, there's maybe 15% left in here, and I think I even have another full backup bottle of this. I'll be perfectly honest, the face cleanser from Earthwise was never one of my favorite products in the brand. I mean, I have gone through seasons where I like it. It is actually quite good in the summertime. I just never really liked the Castile soap in this and like the sudsing nature. If you're used to a foaming or already sudsing cleanser, this was great, I'm sure, for you, but it was always a little bit too clarifying and slightly stripping on me, but I did still use it because the herbal component of it was so nice. Earthwise On A Swing among trees. I just sort of maxed out on this. I do like it, but I don't like that it has hyaluronic acid in it. I think it might be the only product in Earthwise's range that had that in it. If I'm not mistaken, let me quickly even scan the ingredients. I don't want to be, oh yes. It's way up there too. Sodium hyaluronate plant derived. This was actually the very first product that ever pulled me into Earthwise. I saw it posted about somewhere. This was back in 2019, maybe 18, 19. And I was very late to the game with Earthwise. People had been singing the praises of Earthwise for like 10 years prior. So I was very late to even falling in love with this brand. But yeah, I'm just not going to finish it. And then two balms, the Yasuni face balm and the Isadora face balm. I mostly finished this one up. This is Yasuni. There will never be another Yasuni. It definitely, I think, has turned at this point. It was just a very, very special, super unique balm. All of Earthwise's balms, with the exception of Green Leaves, had a very dry balm feel. They were perfect for people that did not like a super oily, melty type of balm. And then Isadora, I was never, you can see, I think I even have one or two backups of this. So that was another reason to get, this is probably 4 years old. I liked Isadora mostly as a very intensive mask. So putting a very thick layer on of this and hopping in the bath, very nice, intensive moisturizing treatment. But beyond that, I found it to be a little bit too heavy as just a leave-on balm for me. I do have a few other skincare things. This one I held on to for a really long time, and I was like, do I even want to mention this? This is the brand BioHerboloQi. My acupuncturist in Chicago stocked this brand, which is how I learned about them. And I went on to buy some products. I had kind of a moment with them. And then I had like a pretty negative social media exchange with the founder, Fiona. I mean, we were talking about something of a hot button social issue, but it was not really about that. It was more about the demeanor and the elitism. And it was just, I was just like, I'm all set. I don't want to use products from someone that talks that way or kind of contorts a conversation. I don't know, it was just not good. It was probably the last time I've ever sort of tried to have a conversation about anything even remotely sensitive with someone online. It is just so not worth it. And anyway, this was my favorite product that the brand did, the Medi-Pearl for dry skin. I think this has castor oil in it, honey. Yeah, the first ingredient is castor, raw honey, black cumin seed oil, astragalus, some other Chinese herbs. It really is nice. And I venture to guess this is probably still good. I don't know. Now that I'm holding it, I'm like, maybe I should keep this around and keep trying to use it. I just have so many other products and it is a bit old at this point. Okay, this is very recent. In fact, this was the last thing I threw in this bag before sitting down to do this video. This is the Earth Harbor Marina Biome Brightening Ampule with spirulina and blue tansy. This came as a Love More gift in one of the last Beauty Heroes orders that I placed. Okay, so this product is very similar to that pretty newly launched Free and True Biphase Essence that came in the Beauty Heroes box 1 or 2 months ago. I'm kind of losing track. I find the experience of this product and that Free and True Blue Tansy Essence to be really quite similar. So this is, I think, I haven't looked up the prices, but I think this is a much more budget-friendly option. I gave this a really good go. What I deduced from trying this, well, first of all, I'm not a big blue tansy person. The very few products that have a prominent blue tansy scent or kind of make it through beyond the initial testing for me. It's just not a scent that I like, with rare exception. But for me, this was more of a texture thing. So this is actually going to be a good product for someone that likes a serum step that's a little bit oily. So if you're someone that uses like a day cream or a night cream, this would be good underneath. But I'm someone that uses oils, and I use like an oily SPF, the La Par Day Silk, and I use makeup that's very melty and cream textures. So this just is too much for me to use as a serum step. I vastly prefer a serum that's aloe based. And I actually think that the aloes are more beneficial for the skin than, I don't have the ingredients in front of me, but I don't think that there's any aloe in this. It just feels like a very light, dry oil serum, but it does leave an oily residue. So you can't really use an oil over top or cream makeup. It just gets to be like way too much. I prefer aloe serums. The two that I'm using right now are the In Fiore Complex de Fleur and the Apis Flower Sap. Both are a creamy emulsion aloe serum that kind of plump and hydrate the skin and sort of prime it for an oil or an oily SPF. So that's just my personal preference, and I couldn't get down with this. This is the Manasi. It doesn't have the name. The little label came on, or no, the label is on there. Armonia, I think this one is called. Armonia and Chanua. I forget which is which. One is the oil and one is the serum. The oil, I used the whole bottle up, and it's actually in my Best of Beauty 2023 video. So I love that product a lot. It's an absolutely stunning oil. The serum is very nice too, but I just cannot consistently use a product with hyaluronic. Although you can see I used a lot of this up. And then this is just what happens with me. I sort of get fatigued fighting it because hyaluronic acid and peptides and all of these synthetic ingredients are in almost all skincare, eco skincare, and it's hard to avoid. And sometimes I feel like I just get worn down, and the product is so beautiful otherwise. And then, you know, I read something or I recommit to just a really botanical, holistic, supportive, non-manipulative skincare perspective. And I'm like, okay, I will test a product that has hyaluronic. I will test a product that has peptides. I will test a product that has bakuchiol or, you know, whatever it is. And then I just go back to my La Par, my Inlight, my In Fiore, my Laurel, my brands that are not using those types of ingredients. Gorgeous product, especially if you like a hyaluronic serum and you feel that it benefits your skin. This is very similar to the original Provise Nutrify 1-6 tonic, which was the very first hyaluronic product I ever tried, and I absolutely loved it. I just don't think that in the long term, hyaluronic acid does what it promises to do. Okay, this is the African Botanics Buchu Botanical Enzyme Polish. This was a little sidekick in a Boxwalla box last year. African Botanics is a brand that I never can really fully get down with. I find the products to often just be a lot of hype. They're nice, but they kind of just remind me of a high-end department store product that you would find at like a Neiman Marcus not that there's anything wrong with that. It's just not the there doesn't tend to be there for me. Very similar to like True Botanics for me. But, you know, to be sure, African Botanics has a very cult-like following, and I was excited to try this because it has a reputation as being very good. It is good, but it's too aggressive for me personally. It's a gommage with enzymes in it. Let me see what it says here. Gentle facial polish that deeply exfoliates, lifts dead skin cells, purifies, blah, blah, blah. I couldn't leave it on my skin all that long. I mean, it is effective, but I don't know. There's just other similar products that I feel are more gentle and that I like a little bit better. It also, I remember it having quite a strong fragrance. It's a little bit reminiscent of that Laura Mercier facial gommage that I started using in like the early 2000s. So it was like kind of similar to that, the gommage feel. I don't know. It was just kind of a miss for me and overall too strong of a product. This is the Naturallogic Luna Red Wine Bioferment Mask. I think Naturallogic is quite an underrated brand. Their stuff is really, really nice. They kind of remind me maybe a bit of Blissoma with a slightly different spin. And there is hyaluronic acid in this. It's just in everything, but I do feel that the voices of people that are critical of this ingredient in particular in skincare are coming out more. Like I'm seeing more people questioning the fact that it's in everything, mostly because it just doesn't work and it has a counterproductive impact on the skin over time. I'm hoping that eventually the tide will turn with that ingredient, but you know, this is just the industry. If it's not hyaluronic acid, it's going to be something else. Anyway, this is actually a very gorgeous product that I think I was okay with all the other ingredients in here. This was a limited edition product some years ago in Boxwala. I think it was sort of around Valentine's Day. And the experience of this is so nice. I could leave it on my skin for 30, 40 minutes while I was in the bath, and it was just very softening, I remember. It smelled kind of like roses and chocolate. It was a very sexy, indulgent product. And at this point, it's just a little bit old and needs to get cleared out. I think this is the last skincare thing I have. This is the Luzern Cleansing Gelée. This came as some sort of gift with purchase from an Ayla beauty order I made. And in fact, I think I even have other tubes of the, oh, just exploded a bit. I also have the Cleansing Cream Luzern Cleanser. This brand apparently is so beloved. They have a hard time keeping their products in stock, so I was curious to try. Again, it's not a brand for me necessarily, but it reminds me of like an L'Amour Patron, for example. You can tell that it's a very high quality, but it's more of a cosmeceutical, dermatological brand. I think they're Swiss. I just find the products to be strong. Like there's a, how do I describe this when I try products like this? Like I can see that they're nice. I can see why they're well liked. They deliver, they do what they say they're gonna do. I do actually think that the price point is merited for products like this, but when I use them, I feel like there's sort of this forcefulness to the products rather than like a synergy with your being. Feel free to unsubscribe if you think I've sort of completely lost it. But I think as I've gone on in my own skincare journey, I've just become quite sensitive to like the consciousness or the energetics of products and brands. I don't think that that's necessarily uncommon. I think that especially when you're using these botanical brands, you can't deny the vibrant aliveness of, you know, Earthwise or Inlight or Laurel. I mean, it's just, my friend Tatiana and I were talking about this recently, and she said she likened the botanical brands to having a home cooked meal. And there are so many parallels between food and beauty, or food and beauty products. And those are two things I'm super passionate about, like cooking food from scratch and preserving traditional food ways and natural fermentation and things like that. And so that's very aligned for me with the botanic brands that are really honoring and respecting the herbs and using these preparation methods that allow the herbs to sort of be in synergy with somebody. Now, that's not going to be for everybody. A lot of people don't care about that, and that's fine. So if you want a more cosmeceutical, high-end, effective approach, this is a good brand. But I'm just saying that for me, I feel like this weird forcefulness, and that's why I think I interpret the products as feeling strong to me. I feel like I'm getting sort of overwhelmed by the product, and the products may not even be objectively strong. You know what I'm saying? It's more just like the energetics of the product from how I'm experiencing it right now. Okay, a couple body care products. This is just very old. This is the Red Flower Arctic Berry, or no, the Bioactive Berry White Peat Exfoliant. This was my favorite body exfoliant for many years. It is just probably 6 or 7 years old. It honestly still smells good. I just cannot in good conscience use it anymore. It's just been sitting around for way too long. The body exfoliant that I love and has kind of replaced my love for this, or obviated the need for me to go out and buy another one of these, is the Blue Alchemy Body Polish. I forget the exact name, Enzyme Body Polish. Came in the December Beauty Heroes box, you know, 6 or 7 months ago, made it into my Best of Beauty 2023. I'm obsessed with that body scrub. It is so gorgeous and invigorating, and I love everything from how it leaves my skin, perfect amount of residue, the smell. I don't know. The only thing I don't like is that it's in glass packaging. This is nice that it's not. My crazy curly hair. I'm going through this weird phase with my hair. Actually, let's talk about hair products now. My hair is just very curly. I don't know if it has to do with how damaged it got from using hair print to transitioning to doing semi-permanent gloss on it like every 4 to 6 weeks. I don't know if it's the microclimate of where I live now. I don't know if it's hormones. I don't know if it's something like spiritually multidimensional. I have no clue, but my hair is so curly. When I was a baby, I had very curly hair. And then as a kid, I had sort of more wavy textured hair. And then I had a perm when I was like 9. And I always felt like that perm permanently did something to my hair, even when the perm itself had grown out. Anyway, like, not that all this detail is really needed, but I just have, my hair has been so curly. Every time I wash it, it literally will dry in ringlets on this underneath part. It's really crazy. And I am not gonna go the route of enhancing the curl, like doing hair plopping or diffusing. It would get probably like so curly if I did that, because it's so curly not doing anything to it. I am just kind of trying to coax it to be more wavy and lightly curled. Someone asked me on my stories kind of recently if I was using the Dyson Airwrap in my hair, and I was like, nope, it just goes into ringlets spontaneously. Hair talk is really a separate video. I kind of want to chronicle everything that my hair has been through over the last probably year or so, because it's been a journey. But I do have some hair products here that I'm not going to finish, so let's talk about those. The Maya Chia Main Agent, this is like 80% full. I never even had hair loss, and that's what this, isn't this the one that's, oh no. Okay, I'm thinking of Powerful, which I have also tried and I felt did absolutely nothing, but I have not really experienced hair thinning or hair loss. Main Agent is the bond repair product. So I had really high hopes for this because I bought this at a time when I was experiencing insane hair breakage from really damaging my hair using this hair dye alternative product called Hair Print, which deserves its own video. I actually have a video when I first started using it on Patreon, but I have yet to do a follow-up video talking about how, not dangerous, but how you really have to be aware of how damaging that product can be to your hair. So this is supposed to be a bond repair product. You spray it on damp hair, and then I think you can let your hair air dry, or you can blow dry it. I have actually found in trying to repair my hair that blow drying in a smart, gentle way is very helpful, because the heat reseals the cuticle of the hair and it smooths it down, and in my opinion can make it less prone to breaking. However, I never found this product to do Jack SHIT for my hair. Some people I have heard, but I was like the prime candidate for this because I was having so much hair breakage to the point where this hair here, like the under part of my hair, was a full like 4 inches shorter than these top hairs. Now you can see it's growing. I had it then completely chopped. up to like, I don't know, maybe here to get all the dead hair off. It's growing out even. So these hairs are growing out now in a way that's aligned with the hair on top. So it's growing out evenly. But I was like the perfect person to be using this because I was expecting it to help with stopping the breakage. And I think that my hair was probably just past the point of no return. There was nothing I could do that was gonna stop the damage. You just have to kind of start over at that point. But I don't know, like I tried so many ways. I got troubleshooting tips for how to use this. I sprayed it directly on. I sprayed it in my hands. I used a little, I used a lot. I used heat, I used no heat, I used wet, I used dry. I mean, I tried a million ways. It did nothing for me, but actually make my hair almost like more tangly in a way. Now I have medium fine textured hair that is like, was very fragile and is still sort of rebuilding itself. But anyway, yeah, like fail. This would be like a disappointing product, not even really like a product crit. Really was a waste of money for me, but I guess I'm glad I tried it. Okay, 2 Evolve H products. They're actually the same one, just in different packaging. This is the polishing balm. This product does not work for me at all. Many of Evolve H's styling products don't really work for me. The only one that does, and I love it, is the Wonder Balm. But I've had to take a break from using the Wonder Balm because it actually makes my hair more curly, and that product can do that. It can enhance curl. So since I'm kind of trying to mitigate the curliness of my hair, I've been taking a break from the Wonder Balm, but I really like that product. It does not make your hair look oily or greasy at all, but it really will tame frizz. But if I had used it today, my hair would be poofed up even more and like going into ringlets, which is just crazy. So if you want to enhance curl in your hair, it's a great product for that. Overall, it is a really good product. The Super Finish Polishing Balm, I had to use so much of it and I still felt like my ends would look dry. Even when I had used like, I don't know, like 10 pumps of this in my hair, my hair just kind of didn't like it or didn't take it in, or it wasn't heavy enough for me, which is weird because I don't need heavy styling products at all. It just didn't work. It says light hold for soft, healthy shine. It's supposed to be revolutionary defrizzing and flyaway control while providing moisture and youthful softness and shine. I mean, I had really high hopes for it. I tried to use it for months and months, and then I just was like, my hair was still looking frizzy using it, so I was done. This is the Aluse Juice Drench Hair Treatment. I used probably 2/3 of this. I just felt like it stopped working. In the beginning, I really liked this. This was actually a recommended product from my friend Rebecca here on L'Amour. I liked it a lot. I felt like when I first used this, I was getting good results from it. And then I think maybe my hair just got used to it, or I don't know, my hair changed. So what this is basically, I realized I just didn't show you that texture. It looks like this. It's a cream hair mask. Now the selling point with this product is that unlike a hair oil, you can put this in as a treatment product, you know, in the morning. Say you're gonna wash your hair that night. You can put this in the morning and kind of like slick your hair back in a bun or put it up, and your hair does not look as crazy as if you had oiled your hair and your scalp, where you look crazy if you go out with like oiled hair, which is fine. Like I've done that before too, but this is just nice because it's a more user-friendly way to have a hair treatment. Now, I don't ever sleep in a hair treatment. I don't understand how people like I don't know, maybe you have pillowcases that you use specifically for if you're gonna oil your hair at night. Anyway, I end up doing a hair treatment. If I wanna do an extended hair treatment, I'll do it in the morning or midday or whatever, and then wash my hair at night. I mean, this has a pleasant smell, and when I was first using it, I did feel like it was imparting more softness and more manageability to my hair. And then as I kept using it, I just felt like it was diminishing returns. It was one of those products that I just waned on over time, so I'm not gonna finish it. The Pipette Mineral Broad Spectrum SPF 50. This should honestly probably, I think this is empty. I'm gonna toss this in my empties. That's I already have a new one. I've repurchased that. I like that a lot for the kids in the summertime, and myself actually, but that was more of an empty and should not have gotten thrown into this bag. Okay, I have 2 makeup items to end on. The Manasi mascara. This is probably my 3rd or 4th tube of this, and it's not done, but it did just get old and I was never reaching for it, so I decided to throw it into this bag because The mascara that I really is the only mascara that I want to use is the Say Bella Volumizing Mascara. I get this on the website Melaleuca, which is a discussion for another time, or I have talked about it before. But this is just my everyday mascara that I really like, works really well for me, gives me the volume that I like. The Manasi mascara I like, but it is natural. I prefer a more dramatic lash, but this is very good for, actually I'll put a little on right now. This is good for lower lashes. But I never really take the time to do lower lash mascara on an everyday basis. I just leave them bare. And it just takes too much time for me to try to build this up on my upper lashes when I can save time and whack 2 coats of this on and be done with it. But, you know, best mascara aesthetic packaging ever for me. I mean, this glass tube and their typeface branding, and oh, it is just perfection to me. But it's just not my preferred wand or whatever. However, I do think that the formula of this is extremely beneficial and nourishing to the lashes. Probably the most nourishing mascara formula I've ever used. It will actually condition your lashes. It doesn't flake or transfer on me. It's easy to remove. For me, it's really just, it doesn't give me enough va-va-voom. Last product is the Gressa Lip Boost in Lilith. So I busted this out during one of my recent lives, Get Ready With Me lives on Patreon, because I was doing a look. I was trying to do this Arabian Nights makeup look with a very sort of smudgy kohl liner with a taupey lid. The look went a little south for me, but I wanted to pair it with a very nudie lip, and I thought of this color. And so I went to use it during the live, and it had turned, and it's the first time I feel like I've ever experienced a Gressa product turning, and this one is not even that old, at most a year. And I was just surprised because other Gressa products of mine have lasted so much longer than that. So I don't know, maybe I just got a bad batch of this. I'm not gonna finish it because it went bad. The note that I'll end on is that with makeup, there is actually a lot of makeup that gets tucked away that I try and don't finish. So there could have been a lot more makeup in this video, but what I end up doing with makeup once I've determined it's not gonna be part of, you know, my everyday routine. I mean, I have different tiers of makeup. I have my everyday stuff, I have my less used stuff, but still using. I have a drawer full of stuff. And then I kind of have a makeup limbo. And instead of, you know, tossing or giving things away, what I've been doing is just hanging on to the makeup and keeping it as kind of a makeup library, because oftentimes, you know, I go live every week and do a Get Ready With Me for my Patreon community. So I've been doing it for like 6 years, and I have 300 Get Ready With Me videos archived. It's been just a fantastic experience. But it's not uncommon for people to request that I swatch something against an older product. And so I started running into the problem that I was prematurely getting rid of things that still would have been useful in a comparative sense. Now, a lot of the makeup ends up getting old and turning, but I can still use it for color purposes or packaging discussion or things like that. So maybe that could be something interesting to talk about. Okay, I think that's a pretty good note to end on. I feel like this was a nice, manageable amount of products to talk about. Here comes my family coming home, so that's the cue for me to be quiet. You can come to patreon.com/LamourLaMusique if you'd like to see all my archived content of the last 6-7 years. I'm on Instagram at LamourLaMusique, and you can always feel free to reach out to and email me lamourlamusique@gmail.com. Until next time, hope you guys are doing well, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.